She asked me if I do this every day. I said often. That's how many times she rode the wave. Not so often.
What's up, YouTube? And I'm finally fucking back. I know it's been a while, but this is gonna be a really quick story time because I'm extremely tired, but I felt like I had enough energy to do this video, but I really don't. But let's get right into it. So this is the story time about when I hooked up with this guy that I went to school with. So it was my senior year. It was our senior year, but I didn't really like hang out with this kid. I didn't ever think anything of this kid. It was actually just me and him that smoked because the other kid was like fucked up out of his mind. So like he wasn't even awake for the blunt. So it was just basically me and that other guy. The guy that I hooked up with, we'll name him Curtin. It was a little weird to me because my friend that I know, like we had that mutual friend through me and Curtin that he came with, my friend was texting me saying like, oh, like, do you still want to chill and smoke? Because we had made plans to smoke earlier in the day, but like I think he like had something to do and he bailed. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm up. It was like maybe like 1:32 in the morning. And so he was like, all right, well, I'm just grabbing Dutch's at 7-Eleven. I'll be pulling up to your house. When I lived in Pennsylvania, I lived 3 minutes from the 7-Eleven, was like down the hill. So I guess like he flew up the hill or whatever. I was like getting dressed. I went outside. And, when I came outside, this is like really the beginning of the story. When I came outside, our mutual friend was in the passenger seat, but he was passed out. So at this point, I'm kind of like, that's weird. You just texted me like 3 minutes ago. You were at 7-Eleven, now you're asleep. Curtin was like, well, do you still want to smoke? I don't think he's going to smoke. So I'm like trying to wake him up. I'm like, yo, like get up, our mutual friend. I'm like, get up, get up. And like, he's like, I was like, all right, whatever, fuck it. So we go sit in my car. My car was parked 2 spaces over. So he rolled up the one Dutch, slow as fuck. Then I rolled up the second Dutch. So I knew he had a girlfriend. I did. I knew he had a girlfriend. So yikes, my bad. Not really my bad, because like I said, we weren't really friends like that. We weren't close. Like we didn't cry on each other's shoulder. It wasn't like that. Like we just knew each other through school. So, but I knew he had a girlfriend, so I wasn't thinking nothing like, oh, like maybe he's trying to flirt with me. But like as we're smoking, it keeps running in my head like it's still not lining up, because I wouldn't even say I live 3 minutes from the 7-Eleven. I live 15 seconds. If you can, it's only 2 lights that you have to go through to get to my apartment. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, how the fuck did he fall asleep that fast? A little bit farther down the road, we were talking or whatever. And, and we finished the second Dutch. And then I was like, and he said, I was like, oh, like, I'm getting pretty, like, tired. Like, I'm gonna go in. He was like, all right, cool. And then, like, he got back in our mutual friend's car. So I go in the house, I'm just laying in the bed, and like I don't like wasting my high. So after I smoke, like I try to at least stay up for like an hour so I can at least enjoy it. And like I was just watching YouTube videos sitting there, and then I got an ad on Snapchat. No, it wasn't an ad. It was a Snapchat, and it was I opened it and it was Curtin. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh shit, like did something happen? Like maybe they got into an accident, maybe they got pulled over. So I'm thinking like maybe they're about to ask me to come and like pick them up or something. And I opened it, it was just a black screen, and it just said, what are you doing? First of all my sisters out there, we all know, you get that what you doing text from a nigga that's got a girlfriend and you're openly gay like I am, like makeup and shit, like girls' clothes and shit, like you know what that means. So I was kind of like, what am I doing? Like, bitch, we just finished smoking, like you know what I'm doing, I'm in the house. I was like, oh, just chilling watching YouTube videos. And he was like, oh, well, and then he said, come over. And I was like, for what? And then he starts Snapchat calling me. I answered it or whatever. And like I didn't hear, like I was like hello, and then he was like hello, and then I said what's up, and then he's like come over, and I was like for what? And then like it just got real quiet, and this is all that I heard. Right hand to God. All this is all I heard. Completely pitch black screen. You couldn't see shit. And that's all I could hear. So like my mind immediately goes to like, is this nigga beating his, so I literally asked him, I was like, are you beating your meat right now? And then he's like, yeah. And I said, oh. And then he says, well, you know, he was like, come over. Like, and then he asked me, he was like, well, you know, will you fuck me? And I was like, no, that's not me. Like, I'm a bottom. Like, I don't do that. And then he was like, well, why not? And I was like, that's just not my position. Like, I don't, you know, that's not my thing. So then he says, he's like, oh, okay, well, he was like, we'll still come over. And I'm like, yeah, but like, why? Like, what am I coming over there for? You just asked me to fuck you, like, and that's not my thing. So now what am I coming over there for? And I was like, I mean, like, we could hook up, I guess. Now, mind you, at this moment in my time, the only reason why I was thinking about doing it was because I was like, oh, like he's kind of hot, like he's not ugly, and so I was like, all right, fine, I'll go over there. So I said, all right, well, I'll be over there in a couple of minutes. I said, you know, just make sure you're up. Because I knew, like I said, they were both, I guess, fucked up and drinking all day. So I was like, all right, well, just make sure, like, you're up when I get there. We lived, like, 5 or 10 minutes away. So I pull up and, you know, I get out the car. I walk up to the door. And I, like, kind of, like, tap on it because I didn't want to, like, knock. So I tap on it a little bit and I wait and I don't hear nothing. So I kind of like walk up to the window and I like look in or whatever and I didn't see shit. So I walk back to the front and I scratched the screen on the window. So like maybe he could hear that. And I knew he didn't have any pets. So it was like I wasn't worried about setting off a dog. And I walked to the front door again and I'm like standing there and like I could hear the door like unlocking. So I'm like, oh shit, like he's like actually awake. So he opens up the door and he's in his boxers, but like nothing's out or nothing like that. So he's like, come in. And I was like, all right. I still remember to this day exactly what his living room looked like. And the reason being is because I have eidetic memory, okay? For certain things. I'm really good with like recognizing shit and like remembering certain things and like things that stand out to me. So like I remember he laid back down on like the couch and it was like a long couch and then there was another couch and I sat on the other couch and he sat on the long couch and he laid on the long couch. He didn't have a shirt on, like nothing. And then I sat down and I just looked at him and he was like just staring at me and he had his like hand in like his pants or whatever and I was like, listen, like just to make sure, like I don't want to take advantage of anybody. Like I said, are you sure this is something like you want to do? Like if you say no right now, like I will not be mad. Like I can go home. Like he was like, no, like if I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have texted you and like or whatever. And I was like, well, what about your girlfriend? Like, what is she gonna think? Like, you know, not what is she gonna think, but like, you know, like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you want to hurt her like that? And then he was basically like, oh, like, well, we're not together right now at this moment, so I can do whatever I want. She can do whatever she wants. So I said, all right, perfect. So we did what we did. We handled our business. We hooked up. I did not have sex with him. Pump your brakes. We just hooked up, you know, did all the other fun shit. And then I left. Before I left, he said, like, please don't, like, you know, tell anybody. And I said, you don't got to worry about that. Like, I don't even letting people in on my business and the shit that I'm doing. So, you know, you ain't got to worry about that. And I don't fuck with people's sexuality when it comes to outing them or putting them out there like that. Like, don't like it. So basically, 2-3 days later, I meet up with the mutual friend he showed up with in the beginning. So but, you know, mutual friend came and picked me up from my apartment and we were chilling. He was like, oh, like, are you trying to smoke? And I said, well, yeah. I was like, let's smoke. And then he said, well, I was like, oh, well, you know, ask Curtin, like, does he want to match? Because we were trying to find somebody to smoke with. So I was like, oh, well, hit Curtin up. Because at that time, that's who he was always around. So I was like, oh, well, hit that person up. And then he was just like, oh, well, he doesn't fuck with you or something like that. And I said, huh? Now, mind you, this is like 48 hours after. anywhere from 48 to 72 hours after all that shit just went down. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he said, oh, like, he don't, mess with me. Like, what do you mean? He was just like, I don't know. I said like a day ago or something like that. Like, if we wanted to link, like, like, let's link with Gabe. And then, he was just kind of like, nah, like, I don't want to hang out with that faggot. Or he said something along those lines. But I just remember our mutual friend saying, like, he was like, no, he was just like, I don't want to hang out with that faggot. So I was like, oh. And I made sure, I said, he said faggot, and I knew he did because he was famous for saying shit like that. Like I've never heard him say it out loud, but I know, like, he's that type of person to say it. And, like, you know what I mean? And, like, try to be hurtful of it. So I was like, all right, well, I said, so that's how you want to play that game? Like, you want to down my name, or, like, not down my name, but, like, you want to call me out my name for what? Instead of just being like, nah, I don't really want to smoke with Gabe. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to go out your way to call me out my name. Bitch, my mother named me Gabriel. Call me by my name or don't talk about me at all. How about that one? Do you like those apples? Bet you don't. So I was sitting there and, I didn't really say nothing at that moment. And then I was like, oh. And, like, I was smoking with the mutual friend of ours, and it was just me and him smoking. We ended up not matching with anybody, so we just parked up and smoked. We were just sitting there smoking, and I was like, I said, and I asked him again, I was like, what drove him to say that? He was like, I don't know. Like, I just said, let's match with Gabe or something like that. And he literally looked at me and was like, I don't want to match with that faggot. He was like, he just kept going on about it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So now you feel some type of way because I brought an emotion out of you that you may or may not, that you didn't like, because you did like it and you don't want to be that, or you don't want to be attracted to that. So that's when I said, hey, does Curtin have so-and-so in his living room? And then he was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, is his carpet this color? And I was like, does he have this picture frame sitting on this thing? You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of like throwing out hints. And then, like, he knows that I'd never been in the house. So when I was describing his house to him, our mutual friend was sitting there and he was kind of like, how do you know all this? And then I was like, And that's when my mutual friend was like, no way. I said, I didn't say shit. I said, I didn't say nothing. He was like, you didn't have to say anything. He was like, no way. And I was like, yeah way. You want to call me on my fucking name? You want to call me what my mother did not name me? Bitch, now we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to start shit. Because I'm the type of person where you want to start it, I'll finish it. So basically, and I told my mutual friend, I was like, listen, don't say nothing to anybody, because at the end of the day, I didn't want to ruin, I didn't want to embarrass him in front of everyone. I wanted to embarrass him who he tried to embarrass me in front of, if that makes sense. Like, you tried to play me in front of our mutual friend, so now I'm going to play you right back. So, like, he kept asking questions, and I'm like, I'm not going in the detail. Just know that I've been in the house. Like, just know, like, he was like, but when? He was like, I've been with him literally every day, so when were you in the house? And I was like, the night that you came and smoked. He said, what night is that? I said, 2 nights ago? He's like, I never messaged you to smoke 2 nights ago. He was like, I was busy in the daytime and I bailed. I said, yeah, but you had texted me back and said, did you want to smoke? He was like, yeah, I said that like around 10:30, but you didn't, when did he get to your house? I said, you guys both came to my house at around like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then he was like, I was there. I said, he had your car, retard. Why wouldn't you be there? So then he's like, oh shit, I didn't even know. But like I said, our mutual friend was fucked up in the passenger seat, so he wouldn't have known. So that's why I kept running back in my mind while we were smoking in the car that night. That's why I'm like, how did he text me that fast? So come to find out, Curtin was already plotting, trying to talk or spit game the whole night through. Like, or not the whole night, but up until 7-Eleven came or whatever. And then he decided, okay, well, I'm going to pursue that. You know what I mean? So then a little while, like, later down, I get a text message like a week later or whatever. And it's basically from his girlfriend that he said he wasn't with. And it says, hey, like, there's a rumor going around about you and Curtin. Basically, doing this, like, is it true? Or like basically just asking me dumb questions. And I'm like, listen, like, no disrespect or not like that, but please do not text my phone asking me any questions like that. Please don't bring that drama to my phone or not like that. If you have any questions, please direct them all to your boyfriend or whatever the case is. She was like, well, I'm just coming to you because I've already asked him and, he told me no. I said, well, then there's your answer. And then she was like, okay. And I could tell she kind of had an attitude. But it's like, why do you need to come to me for confirmation? You should trust your man. Or even if you believe, if you have full faith in your man that he is a straight man, you shouldn't even entertain it. You heard a rumor, okay, let it go. But I guess she was one of the insecure girls, like, I guess. And she wasn't an ugly girl. Like, she had a really nice body. Like, she was pretty. Like, so I don't know why she was always acted that way, but she was basically like, oh, did you get with him? Like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I didn't get with him. The reason why I denied it to her and to everybody else that ever asked me was because it was none of their business. I had said something to that mutual friend because he wanted to embarrass me to the mutual friend. Now, wherever it went after that, it has nothing to do with me. But a couple like days down the like, Curtin never said nothing to me. He never like texted my phone like saying like, yo, are you going around telling people da-da-da-da-da? Because he knew at the end of the day what he did. And he knew texting me off some hype shit was not going to get him anywhere but cuss the fuck out. And he knew it. So he never ever went and said nothing to me. He, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember he blocked me off of Snapchat though. He blocked me. But it was like, what was I going to screenshot? You called me. So it was like, I could tell like he was like, not upset, but like, I guess he like finessed her into thinking like it didn't happen because they got back together or something like that. Or if they were never, like, I'm starting to think that they were never broken up and he was just saying that. But lo and behold, they got back together and that was the end of that. I never talked to him again after that. I kept my distance from him and I kept my distance from his girlfriend. She blocked me on everything. I really couldn't care less. So, like, that was basically the end of the story. And what I learned from that was that I didn't learn shit. I guarantee you he learned something. Don't call me out my name. I don't know what other gay guys you dealt with. I don't know what other people you met on Grindr or whatever you do in your spare time. But don't call me out my name. My mother did not name me faggot. My mother named me Gabriel. So call me by my name or don't talk to me at all. It's that simple. And basically, yeah, that's really the story. That's gonna conclude this story time because I'm getting fucking tired and I'm getting hot and I'm ready to go to sleep. I want to take a shower and I want to wash this fucking makeup off. But make sure you guys comment, subscribe, and like, and please let me know what type of story times that you guys want to hear. I do have other story times about me and other straight guys. All of the bodies that I have, they're all straight. None of them are gay. I've never been with a gay guy, like someone who's openly gay like I am, ever. So let me know if you want me to do another story time. I got 2 more people that I was in high school with, and then I got another one of a guy that I like met at the gym. But I mean, like I said, y'all let me know. And if not, I'm gonna just keep coming out with shit. Eventually, y'all will start telling me what you want to see, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and get the fuck up out of here. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Snapchat at GMAN44155. It's GMAN44155. Follow me at Instagram. It'll be down below in the description. And yeah. Good night.